There is a new horror indie film called Late Night with the Devil. Essentially, a premise is that a demonic possession gets broadcast on national television and brings demonic activity into living rooms all over the country. I haven't seen it. I don't plan on seeing it. And, you know, it's a pretty small-time production, but a bunch of art nerds decided to boycott this movie because they admitted to using multiple AI images to promote it.
Like we're talking about quarter of a second they were on screen.
Yeah. Late Night with the Devil
Every time I read one of
directors-
these tweets, I wanted to shove a kid into a locker.
Directors explain
Theater could suck.
using AI art in the film and say they experimented with only 3 images. So here was their statement after there was much anger on the internet. In conjunction with our amazing graphics and production design team, all of whom worked tirelessly to give this film a 1970s aesthetic we had already imagined, we experimented with AI for 3 still images, which we edited further and ultimately appear as very brief interstitials. Is that how you say it in the film? We feel incredibly fortunate to have had such talented and passionate cast, crew, and producing team go above and beyond to help bring the film to life. We can't wait for everyone to see it for themselves this weekend. But that wasn't enough.
No.
They got flooded with angry comments. One said, "My heart broke watching Late Night with the Devil this evening to see that they utilized AI art."
Here's the image, by the way. If you want to know what the image looks like, there it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's on the screen for 0.2 seconds.
And then somebody said, "I went ahead and recreated it. This could have been a dream job for an artist like me."
Okay.
Yep.
That's fine, but you didn't get the job.
You know
so-
what? You know why you didn't get why they went with the AI? Because people like you are whiny. You are demonstrating exactly why they're going with AI. They went with AI, and the AI didn't complain when they wanted to change it some. The AI didn't give them an attitude. The AI didn't go. The AI didn't try to convince them why they were wrong. The AI did what they asked.
It's going to be kind of like when they don't understand why people hate unions so much, and then they'll be like, "Why aren't they hiring us to do these jobs?" As they complain about why they're not being hired to do these jobs. Remember when this stuff happens and they talk about for the good of the industry, they do mean that, but they also mean for the good of my job specifically. You know, and these are the type of things where for a film like this, I get what they're saying, because the point is that this is a low budget film and they're talking. And again, if you're a pretentious art nerd filmmaker, then you should expect the wrath of pretentious art nerd creators as well.
Sort of, but at the same time, this is going to demonstrate how human beings can keep ahead of AI to some degree. Have a relationship with the people that are buying your service.
Yep.
Like if you have a relationship with people, that if like you work with them and you talk to them and maybe you even like ask them how their mom's doing when you talk and you chit chat for 5 minutes, as opposed to everything being an email and impersonal and just hit, you know, BCC or instead of reply all or whatever, have a relationship with them. They'll come back to you and they'll keep doing business with you because they like you.
AI isn't just cheaper, it's easier to work with
Yeah.
than people.
Artists are notoriously difficult
It's
to work
true.
with.
But I think it's weird because there's no moral outrage when, you know, big studios use green screens or blue screens to create artificial environments instead of hiring crews to construct environments.
I love the idea.
There's
that
no
all
moral outrage about that.
All of the helicopter pilots who run these businesses that shoot overhead shots are like, I'm boycotting the films because they're shooting it they're not shooting it in camera in the helicopters anymore. They're doing it in a green screen. I don't
It's like
want to do
you
that
have
anymore.
you're talking about a helicopter, bro. Like I'd flew a helicopter to the top of the Big Island in Hawaii. And it cost $700 for an hour.
Yep.
Like that's why.
Yep.
Also, if this is an independent studio that has a lower budget, that means that they actually do have less resources to pay people to do the work. Mm-hmm. They should have more of an excuse than a big studio to use AI, right?
Yeah.
That should give them at least. I'm not that I think they even need an excuse, actually.
Also, it's fair to point out that this stuff was done a couple years ago, really before this whole debate came into the public consciousness.
And before the strikes.
And then people were arguing about, no, it was still being talked about at this time. Yeah, but not as much as it is now.
Yeah.
Not as much as it is now, and that matters.
Yeah. Also, they reported that Late Night with the Devil made exactly $666,666 at the domestic box office on Sunday.
Very scary. I better go see it now.
Do you think they're lying? Variety literally reported it as fact.
I don't think they're lying. I think it's just stupid.
Did they plan it that way? I just don't know how that's possible.
Here's the other thing. For both parties here now, you're not going to win because the artists are part of the class that now believe that they get to tell you, the viewer, what's important.
Yeah.
And the filmmakers are the ones who approve it. So the average person hates both of you and just wants you to make entertainment without being preachy and stupid. So we're not going to cry for the studio for getting boycotted by art nerds. And we're not going to cry about art nerds losing their job. We're just not. Like one day, AI Brett will sit here and I will be out of a job. And guess what? I won't cry for that either.
I think we did get a comment recently.
We've been getting multiples of
You're
those.
going to get replaced by AI.
They said Tim doesn't care about AI replacing people and said you should talk about that. They'll probably leave a comment on this one today. Well, when that happens and they turn me into an AI Brett, I'll be very sad. And then I'll go back to working maintenance at an apartment complex, I guess.
I also just don't agree with that. I'm always going to be more interested in listening to podcasts of real people.
Well, I think there is an amount of if it's real, it's going to seem more. It's going to have more meaning to people. I think that there's a certain amount of people people look at something that has meaning or something about actual humans as having more meaning than not.
Okay, so people are saying that eventually with the rise of AI that like you're going to start using that as like a marketing ploy, like created by real people. If I read that, I would just call you a dork.
In 2024, yes, but maybe in 2034,
maybe
it'll have a different meaning.
Yes.
There was also this girl going viral because she is licensing her face.
Before we get to that, I want to point out, I had this article last week that we never got around to getting to. Poll. Surprising number of consumers believe AI can make more interesting movies than TV shows and humans. You know why? Because people are sick of listening to whiny actors and whiny creatives and whiny studios. Just let the droids make it, they say.
But also, the novelty of AI art is going to wear off at some point, and it'll need to exist on its own merits.
22% believe artificial intelligence technology can deliver TV shows and movies that are more appealing than human efforts. Well, if you looked at most of the garbage coming out today, you might believe that, right?
If you watched Madam Web, then you might agree.
It says, according to the poll, backing for AI content was highest amongst millennials at 30% and Gen Z at 25%. I imagine the Gen Z number to be higher, honestly. Like, I would imagine that the closer you get to growing up entrenched in technology, the less struggle you would see with the concept of technology becoming more data-driven rather than person-driven.
I think Gen Z has more ethical hang-ups than prior generations, so they might feel more sympathy with the artists in that regard.
Interesting.
But if you polled them about using AI to complete their school assignments, it would be a different story.
Did you see the story the other day where a professor offered his students amnesty for if they admitted that they used ChatGPT for their finals? 23 of the 25 did. And then so he's like, and the other two probably just knew they did it well enough that they weren't going to get caught.
The other two were smart enough to know there's actually no way to check whether someone used AI to write their assignment.
Okay. So now we had this lady, right?
There was this video going viral from a woman who licenses her face to different companies, and they AI generate advertisements for their products using her in her car, talking about this and not blinking. I don't know. It's somewhat convincing on first glance.
Let's watch the Obama one. The Obama one's more fun.
Some people are losing their minds because the video below would be AI generated. I'm also a deep fake, and you should take care when you watch a video on the internet. See you soon.
Yeah, that was not believable at all. If you play the girl's video where she's advertising
of you are applying. So let me get this straight. You guys are telling me that when you're out of the house for hours, you're comfortable walking around with all that stanky body odor that's been building up on you all day? What's even crazier is that some of you are applying deodorant on top of that odor, which is honestly probably making it worse. Let me tell you what I do. It's a little hygiene hack. My friend told me about these cloths.
Her
from
not
Get
blinking
Dirty.
is the
They were
creepiest part.
originally formulated
Yeah.
for firefighters to remove
Okay, she blinked
carcinogens
once.
off their
Blink.
skin,
There was one.
which means
Okay, this is the thing. When you can see the whites of the eyes on either side, she's a crazy person.
Yeah,
But
she looks a little
these
crazy.
wipes don't play games like other wipes on the market. They are antibacterial and actually lift and remove sweat, dirt, and odors, making these the one and only Total Refresh shower on
yo,
the go
seriously,
solution.
the only reason that we're like, oh, this looks fake is because we've seen the progression. If you put that in front of someone 5 years ago and said that's computer generated, they would say, holy, and a whole
True.
bunch of expletives. They
it's-
would not believe it. Like 10 years ago, if you showed that to someone, this is done by a computer, they would be like, I cannot believe that computers can do that. That is incredible. Because 10 years ago, the Final Fantasy movie was cutting edge computer generation. You know?
So he says her voice alone in the pacing give it away. Here's the thing, though. Most people consume media extremely passively, and they're not watching it that closely. It says this is not all AI. This is the community notes. The person in the video is real, and you can hire her to make videos from Fiverr. The video was generated by AI, indeed, by the service that licensed her appearance and trained the AI model to generate such videos. So it's rendering over the mouth and the eyes.
Right. Yeah, but still,
Yep.
it's not as clockable as the Obama video. And Sora is releasing more videos of their technology.
Let's look at some of these videos. Again, my biggest problem with the Sora stuff is it's always at like 60 to 120 frames a second, and you very rarely see stuff at like 24 frames.
I mean, it's just impressive.
Well, they say everyone has something unique about them, something that sets them apart. It's just in my case,
got,
it's
like, 9
quite
fingers.
obvious what that thing is. I am literally filled with hot air. Yeah, living like this has its challenges. Windy days, for one, are particularly
This would be a movie that came out in 2007. It absolutely would have.
Yes.
troublesome.
The Chum Scrubber.
Or there was the one time my girlfriend insisted I go to the cactus store to get my Uncle Jerry a wedding present. Ugh. What do I love most about my predicament? Ooh, the perspective it gives me. I get to see the world differently. I float above the mundane and the ordinary. I see things a different way from everyone else. Yeah, and I feel like it's because of that perspective I'm reminded every day that life is fragile. We're all just
I
a
mean,
pinprick
it's
away
convenient that
from
there's
deflation.
no human face.
So I try to live life with a lightness, a buoyancy, a joie de vivre. I got a lot of ideas keeping this thing full.
Okay.
I mean, it's intentional that they didn't give him a human face. It's more difficult.
Here's some more videos here. It's going to be very enticing for people to be able to create elaborate, deep, establishing shots with rich locations and visuals without having to go on site. I mean, Marvel doesn't go on site anymore. They just film everything in their stupid studio, and they don't actually go anywhere.
But people don't like that.
No, exactly. But they're not changing.
People don't like that they
It's
can
breakdancing
tell.
garbage.
That's
Cool.
all. It's only that people don't like that they can tell. We are in the uncanny valley time, and within a year or two, all of that is going to be gone. Come on.
Hey, I was looking at you, kid.
It's 100% in the uncanny valley time. It's going to be perfect in a year. 2 years tops.
Why is there a car in the ocean?
It's swimming.
Salt soda.
I want to try it.
Yum.
Hot dog water. Okay.
Actually, hot dog water's a thing now.
Yeah, we
Yeah, we
talked
talked
about
about
it.
Oh, God.
Fred Durst would be proud.
I think that TikTok brainwashes people because you have no control over whether you're watching these videos. At least on Twitter, it's a text-based platform where you're looking at people's ideas and opinions, and you have a choice whether to click on a video and play it. TikTok is just like fully putting you in a passive position where you are getting brainwashed by video content nonstop. And I think that this has like a similar effect on people.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.